Okay, now we covered a little bit of the drama on the West. Now
Yep.
I keep saying this, the NBA script is drama worthy. I mean, it's Oscar worthy. The amount of lines and villains and all the above. But what's so interesting is when one person in one part of the world or the universe is paying very close attention to another part of the universe that you didn't think was phasing them or living rent free in their minds. But it seems that someone in Denver is paying very close attention
Mhm.
to people in Arizona. Very interesting. Let's see what Jokic has to say about his upcoming contenders.
They're the favorites to win a championship. They have an amazing group of guys, well coached. There's Chris Paul, who is probably the best floor manager or general in the game. Booker, KD, I mean, superstars, probably arguably the best players in NBA right now.
Okay.
Well said.
All right. Well said.
Very well
I will say
said.
that I give Jokic props for putting respect on other people's names because
Right.
there is this concept in sports that if you're one of the best, you can't give that love in the same way, especially when you're about to meet up with them, right? We just saw what
Right.
happened with Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis, right? It's all hate, 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 hate. But now we're seeing them hug each other's moms and
That
exchanging text
respect,
messages.
right.
That respect, right?
Yeah.
So I usually you don't see this before the matchup, but that was really interesting to see Jokic say that before Suns and Nuggets face off.
Yeah, and I think, we saw Nikola Jokic do this, especially after just having a great performance, right? We saw a triple-double from him, something that many fans from him obviously wanted to see, being able to close out the series. But you said it, and it goes back to all of us who used to play basketball on the schoolyard courts. You had to earn that respect, and I think Nikola Jokic is paying tribute. So let's be honest, a very good Suns team. And I mean, he talked about it. Devin Booker, who we've all seen just play lights out basketball, the attention that Kevin Durant gets on that basketball court, opening up more space for DB to just go ahead and do his thing. I mean, Devin Booker, he's going to be so hard to guard. And then Kevin Durant also being able to contribute to that Phoenix Suns team. And we know that starting five for Phoenix is going to be the more difficult part, right? It's enough for Denver to face off against, because if anything, we're asking questions about Phoenix's depth and where that will come into play. But I mean, Kevin, he knows all things going through Phoenix right now. And I think that's even more important because you have Denver, who is number one, paying tribute, obviously, to the lower seed. And Phoenix, I think there's so many things that you could look at, but I love seeing that from him. And again, how can you not like the guy? I mean, this is what's needed in basketball. I think all of us are looking forward to this series. I think it's going to be a great one. You'll think about, Jokic going at it with Ayton, and it's going to be a good series. So I think he's just helping to preview and hype up what is going to be. But it's going to be, the Suns are going to have their work cut out for them. I mean, as we saw them struggle somewhat against the Clippers, right? Against the Clippers team that wasn't at full speed. But now you get a Denver team hitting it at the right time. We didn't get to hear from Jamal Murray in that clip, but, somebody else is playing obviously really well for Denver. So I think Nikola Jokic he just did all the advertising for all the TV networks. Just play that clip right before the series, because that will get us all to watch.
Exactly. No, that's exactly right. And I think that I think that Jokic has really shown a level of maturity right now.
Right.
I mean, we saw what Jimmy Butler said about who's the MVP. He said Joel Embiid. You could call that tampering or not. Players can't get fined for tampering. That's fine. But yes, talking about Joel Embiid, everyone's been calling for Joel Embiid to be the MVP. And so I think Jokic feels like he definitely has something to prove. This is the postseason now. So regular season's over with. We'll find out who the MVP is this week. But for him to say that in the midst of people still not trying to give him his credit and give him his flowers, and still pitting him against Embiid, I think that is really mature, and there could be a lot more of that within the league. Now, this series is going to 7. We saw the Nuggets last night barely pull out that win against Minnesota. Shout out to Anthony Edwards. He got called out for having 7 points the very first during, I think, the play-ins, right? And then showing up and showing out during the series.
Turned it around.
All the teams that were down, turned it around. All the teams that were down 1-3, shout out to their love, shout out to their fight. This series is going to 7. And I think it's because you're going to see Denver be the powerhouse they are with the depth that they have, but you're also going to see the spiritual, as Kevin Durant called it last night, the spiritual
he
performances.
did go holy. He did go holy.
He did go holy. We're going to see the spiritual performances of Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, and Chris Paul being displayed. Like there's a lot of maturity and depth from an experience perspective on the Sun side. So I'm so pumped for second round. I can't believe we're still in the first round. It's wild. But speaking of maturity,
so much good basketball, Zena. And really quickly, before you go to maturity, I just want to say I love Kevin Durant too, giving praise to Devin Booker. Because obviously Kevin Durant is used to being the guy, right? He's used to being the guy. But anytime you talk about maturity, anytime you're able to say, you know what, I'm accepting my role and I'm glad to see my teammates shine. And we're seeing that in Devin Booker. I just thought that was so special. Props to KD for doing that. And again, I think we're going to see so much good basketball because the chemistry is there and they're trusting each other. They're praising each other. I thought that was one of the most fun press conferences to watch between those two guys. So got to give KD props for, again, accepting that role, knowing who he is, but then saying, you know what, I'm going to let my guy go off book, and keep doing your thing.
I love that.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.